It's time for our fourth installment of our Grillin and Chillin series. I'm Mindy Turner with the Curry County Cooperative Extension Service, your family and consumer science agent. So we've been talking about the heat for the summer and using our grills to make yummy, wonderful things, and then freezing some great desserts, snacks that can be healthier than maybe our traditional super sweet things. And I think what I want you to think about is what's cost effective for you and your family, and what's the best fit as related to what you can use. So along with, so we talked about making our foil packets, we talked about kebabs, we talked about rubs versus marinades. Today we're going to talk about some of those side dishes, things that we want to have on the side that we can throw on the grill as well. Again, we want to avoid heating up the house with the oven. If you live where you don't have a grill, where you can't be outside to do these things, you can still make all of these recipes in your oven with the heat there. That's not a problem at all. If you're transporting things to somewhere else to use with the grill, just be aware of the food safety concerns, keeping things cool when they need to be cool, making sure things are cooked to the appropriate temperature. And we want everyone to be safe. And obviously when we're preparing food for ourselves and others, we want to make sure we're doing that in the safest possible way. So remember, the rules of food safety always apply, even if you're grilling outdoors. So consider what you might like to go along with. Maybe we've made a fantastic brisket with the rub that we made, and we know we want something to go along with it. We're going to have some salad, some other types of vegetables maybe. We want something we can throw on the grill. Here are some ideas of things that are great to use. Of course, corn is always a fantastic choice. We love to do our ears of corn on the grill. The newsletter this time had a recipe for jalapeno popcorn that you can put on the grill. I'm not going to do that one for you today. So if you want it, you're going to have to check out the newsletter to get that recipe. And we talked some about sweet potatoes and white potatoes that, of course, we like the old standbys. And you can bake potatoes on the grill, pierce the skin and put those on there. But maybe we want fries. We want something a little different. So a great way you can do that, instead of cutting them long ways, is to cut them into rounds with your sweet potatoes as well. Now, especially sweet potatoes can be really hard to cut. So pierce the skin, throw them in the microwave 2 or 3 minutes, soften them up just a little, slice them, little salt, little pepper, throw them on the grill. It's a great side dish that you can put together. There's also, with our foil packets, you can make au gratin potatoes and all types of fun recipes that way. So today, I'm going to show you one that I think is super fun and kind of different. Something to really get some flavors going, get you lots of color added to the table, which we always like. Our eyes like to see it before we eat it. So if we want to do a stuffed pepper, okay, and this one's a little different. It's a bacon stuffed pepper. So what I have, this is a red bell pepper. You could use whatever sweet pepper you want. If you prefer green peppers, this would be great with the green peppers as well. So what we're gonna do first is make our filling. So I've sliced my pepper, you can see, sliced it in half, and then seeded it. I like to seed with just a metal spoon because it's easy and I don't cut myself. Run it around there, get all your seeds and your veins out so that it's ready to fill. So that's gonna make our bowl. And then what we're gonna put in it is we have some corn. Now you can use fresh, frozen. This is canned corn that I have today. If you wanted to make, the full recipe calls for 4 peppers, so, and then you half them, so basically 8 halves that you would do, and then you use 2 cups of corn and 1/3 cup of salsa. Now whatever salsa you prefer. The great thing, all these recipes we've shared and talked about, is you being able to tailor make it to your family. Okay, you can also add some chopped onions, and if you prefer green onions, those types of things. If your family doesn't like onions, I've had friends that were allergic to onions, you can just leave those out. Okay, so we're gonna add some salsa in here. Like I said, for the full recipe, you do 2 cups of corn and about 1/3 cup of salsa. And then of course you wanna have salsa to serve on the side too, so people who want a little more spicy, a little more kick, can do that, okay? So it's just that simple. Corn and salsa. We're gonna take it, we're gonna put it into our pepper, fill it up. Nice, good to go. And then we're gonna put it in our foil. Now, I know you're going, where's the bacon? The whole point is this is a bacon stuffed pepper. There's a trick to how we do this on the grill and make sure that everything is cooked the way it's supposed to be. So the first thing we're worried about is softening up this pepper and getting the pepper itself grilled. So we're gonna package it in our foil, get it all sealed up, good and tight, leave a little room for some steam to move around in there. We're gonna pop it on the grill. 25 to 30 minutes. We want that crispy, tender taste within our pepper. That's the kind of texture we're going for. Then we're gonna pull it off. So magic of technology, we're gonna pretend this has been on the grill 25 to 30 minutes. So that pepper is tender just how I wanted it. I'm gonna pop this open, not take it all the way out, but pop this open, and I'm gonna add my bacon. Now, it's cooked bacon, crumbled, and you're just gonna put that on top of your pepper. Now, I have a bacon-eating family, so we used a lot of bacon. If you wanted to make this completely vegetarian, no meat, no anything else added, you could definitely do that, okay? It's gonna be tasty with the corn and the salsa in the pepper as it is. But so we're gonna add that little extra kick with some bacon and then some cheese. You can use mozzarella. This is actually Parmesan. You could use cheddar. Again, whatever you have on hand that your family prefers, that they like and want to eat. Then we're gonna close this back up and stick it back on the grill just for that couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes, and melt the cheese. So then we're gonna have this crisp, tender pepper with all of those wonderful flavors inside. The bacon is gonna be warm, and that melty cheese, it's gonna be yummy and would be excellent next to a steak, a pork chop, whatever that actual meat item that you wanted to prepare is. So that's our grilling part for today. Thinking about side dishes, vegetables, other things. You can make completely vegetable kebabs, which we talked about before, which technically would be a skewer, right? Because it doesn't have meat on it, but that's okay. So those are the kind of things to consider and think about. So for our frozen, the chillin' part of our week this week, very simple cookie ice cream sandwiches. Now you're all thinking, Mindy, we know what cookie ice cream sandwiches are, and they're pretty easy to make. I agree, they are pretty easy to make. So some of the things you can consider when you decide you want to do this: what kind of cookie do you like? What do you want? You can use homemade cookies, you can use bakery cookies, you can use just the plain old store-bought in the package cookies. Whatever kind you like, that your family likes. They're simple to make for 3 or 4 different people. My husband really likes oatmeal. Kids are not as crazy about it. They like chocolate chip. I like peanut butter. So now you can actually get peanut butter ice cream to go with your peanut butter cookies and make a fantastic sandwich that's specific to you. The other thing about it, you can purchase pre-made ones, and they're giant. They're great big with a lot of ice cream in them, which always sounds great when I start eating it, but then I get toward the end and I'm like, okay, this was really too much. So you can make these to the portion size you want. If you're baking your own cookies, you can bake them smaller, you can bake them larger. Again, that's part of why I purchased the cookies that I did, is because of the size. This is a very reasonable size to make a snack where you can have 1, maybe 2, and that's plenty. Okay, so it is very simple. I just have vanilla ice cream today. You could also use the frozen yogurt like we made the first week. And all you have to do is put a scoop or spoonful, however much you want to put. Again, you're controlling the portions and what you get on top of a cookie. So this is just a baking sheet lined with parchment paper, cookie, ice cream, cookie on top. Okay, you're right, it's just that simple. So I'm going to line them all up across. The hardest thing I think about these is going to be waiting for them to freeze before you can eat them. So we get them all put together, we fill our pan, slide it in the freezer, 6 to 8 hours, gonna get it good and solid, depending on how fast your freezer freezes, what you have it set to. Then you can take them out, pop them in plastic bags, seal them up in some other type of container. They're there, single serve items that you can pull out just when you need one. You can serve them at the end of your meal after you've had your fantastic piece of meat and your great stuffed pepper. Here's a nice refreshing treat for the summer, made with the cookie you like and the ice cream you like. Again, I'm Mindy Turner with the Curry County Cooperative Extension Service. This has been our series on Grillin and Chillin for the summer. Hopefully we've shared a little information with you about some basic nutrition, basic food safety, as well as some ideas on how you might save a little money on what you want to cook. So give us a call or come by or log on to our website, curryextension.nmsu.edu. Click on Family Health and Wellness. There's a link where you can sign up to receive our newsletter, or you can ask a question and we will get back with you with the answer. I hope you've enjoyed the last couple of months. I hope we're headed into fall. It's time to cool off from summer. Have a wonderful week.